Hello and welcome, everybody. It is Spreading the Nerd. This is episode 45, and we are going bananas for Donkey Kong this week. I'm your host, Clint, and of course, my co-host, Rick. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. Just collecting bananas.
I should say that this week's episode is is episode. Jesus, I'm going to restart the whole thing. This episode is brought by the letter B, which stands for banana.
Oh, you found one! Nice.
I found it, but it's down. It's turned down. All right,
I'm gonna abuse that. That's way too loud. I am gonna abuse the hell out of that now.
Yeah, that was what I think.
Nice.
That was a little bit too low. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some game news. Talk about Donkey Kong, which I'm loving. I'll go into that a little bit. Oh boy, that's
yeah,
I can see
get
that
used to that, folks.
I was gonna say I can see that getting overused, but whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. I did have that in earlier, but I didn't want you to see it, and I played it while like the audio was really high, and I almost blew my fucking eardrums out. I was like, all right, that's gonna be a little bit low. So anyways, you're doing well?
I'm doing all right. Got through the week. It was a trying week, to say the least. But
it felt long.
But yesterday we were blessed with Donkey Kong. And the
we were
the new Cyberpunk update too. So
yeah, what a day! What a day! I to be fair though, I mean we'll get into a little bit more, but I was kind of disappointed with the patch. I wanted more, even though we don't deserve more.
It was definitely on the smaller side, but it's still new stuff, so I can't bitch.
It's new stuff, and honestly, the game's been out so long. I really shouldn't have expected like a ton of new features, but that's just me wanting more, even though I barely played it.
The thing to remember is we got like such a massive update with 2.0, and then really 2.1 added a lot of stuff too. I was actually just thinking about it. I was like, man, 2.1 really did add a lot of stuff. That was one where they added the metro, they added being able to hang out with your romanceable partner again, like after you do the dirty. Like you couldn't do it before. I don't even know if you would encounter them, but now you can like hang out with them again. It added the music thing.
Yep.
And something else. And then 2.2, all they really added was the bunch of photo stuff, and then they added the that twin tone or whatever it's called thing, that crystal code or whatever the hell they call it.
Oh yeah. Which one was the subway? Was that wasn't 2.0, was it?
That was 2.1. Okay. That's what I'm saying. 2.1 was
2.1
was really quite big. 2.0 was huge because it totally redid the game. But 2.1 was a surprisingly sizable patch. They added a lot. But that said, and this is just a minor little thing for me. I do like the addition of the Delamain thing, like being able to use Delamain, because now I can like totally role play and like genuinely I will not fast travel in that game ever. Like I'm not even joking. It like I set a rule for myself. I can only take a vehicle when I'm leaving one of my apartments or whatever, unless I have it there. I think it does despawn, so I might have to break my own rules sometimes. But nevertheless, if I'm just wandering around the street, I don't call a vehicle. I have to take the metro, or I call a Delamain to get to where I want to, and then take the metro from there.
All right. I like it. A little bit.
I'm living the night city life.
I hopped in briefly last night and played like an hour, made a new character because I've probably made a character in that game. This is probably my 10th time now, probably, and I need to.
Yeah, I've restarted it I think 3 times, but I'm actually like fully sticking with what I got now because I'm a little chunk through the game, but I also do want to eventually play Phantom Liberty. So yeah, I can't keep restarting it.
And it's not that I don't like the game. What I've played, I absolutely love. I love everything I've heard about it, and it's just like something comes along and I get stuck in it, and then when I go back to Cyberpunk, I kind of forget where I'm at, and I'm like, just like I need to stick with it. But so I didn't get too far because I need to.
We have our first question of the day.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, we'll get to that soon. I put a star on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I really, really want to finish Death Stranding and stuff. Because I am quite enjoying that game. So I've been playing that, thankfully. So that one's good. Thankfully, WoW is kind of at a lull point right now, so not really.
I sure
WoW.
would like to play all these games, and every time I look, you're playing fucking WoW or
I think
Dune. But I won't criticize you for Dune because I know you were pretty hyped for that. But
I'm
WoW,
pretty
I will
happy.
absolutely give you all the shit in the world about.
I just God, that game is a curse. It is a curse. Thanks for popping in, Freight and Silking in chat. Thank you guys for coming here. We love having you. You know that. What else have I played this week? Donkey Kong, of course.
Wait, sorry, I tried to. I bumped.
Oh, try to get it in there. We need we need like one of those like Staples buttons or whatever they are. We just like pow.
Maybe I'll buy one of those. I don't know.
And just
I don't know if
hook it up as an MP3 button.
But no, there's those Elgato decks, or whatever they're called, the Steam decks. But they're kind of.
I could do that with this.
Yeah, there you go, right there. That's it.
I could. I should do that.
I assume you can set this that way.
I'm sure I can. I should do that.
Look at us. We're moving up to
slowly but surely
double-celled organism.
Easy now.
Podcasting
Easy.
now. I'm not getting too crazy. We're still in the primordial ooze. We haven't left that yet, but
maybe at around episode 100, I'll get the intro right. Maybe I doubt it.
That does remind me. I was looking in. This is 45. We are
45. We're getting there.
We are steadily approaching 50 episodes of.
I know. I was trying to think if we could do something special for 50. I'm sure we could come up with something. I'm sure.
Maybe a little less stupid than usual. Nah.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for playing wise, I tried out Killing Floor. It had a stress test the other day. I played that for a bit. That's out next week, and I'll be getting that because I put a crap ton of time into the first and second one. This one seems a lot of fun, so I'll be playing that a lot. 6-person class shooter, just fighting waves of enemies with lots of blood and gore and leveling and perk system. So I'm pretty excited for that one. But I had completely forgotten about it, even though I was excited for it. So yeah, just another game in 2025. God. Yeah. Other than that, what else did I play this week? I feel like I didn't play much this week.
I'm pretty sure that you promised somebody in our Discord something today.
All right. And do you want to go into that now, or do you want to go into what you've been playing or anything? Or
well, I mean, I've just been playing Donkey Kong, and I can't do that and not laugh. Obviously, a little bit of Cyberpunk, Death Stranding, and there's kind of odds and ends here and there, but that's about it. So. So now you are going to be put on trial here because I want to. No, don't you be typing anything. I don't.
I'm looking up
anything.
Something else. I'm not looking.
No. I don't trust you at all because you are getting quizzed, sir. And if I see those fingers typing anything, I'm going to immediately call shenanigans. So
I'm looking up.
Yeah, you're looking up the names of things. That's what you're.
No,
looking up.
I'm not looking up anything on. I'm looking up.
Silking it. I don't believe him. Do you?
What is the second one of this? Yeah. All right. Okay, so Hollow Knight.
Yes, Hollow Knight.
I am. Honestly, I can't even remember where I was. I'm trying to think of that. I beat that boss. Something green or knights or something.
Those are two very different words.
Yeah, I'm trying to think exactly. Hold on, because I can't.
He's no, he's typing away. No, you don't type.
No, because I'm not going to remember where I was.
You describe, and I will tell you. You don't be typing anything here.
I wouldn't be able to describe it because you know why? The entire game looks the goddamn same. I did False Knight.
Oh boy, so you did the first half hour of the game. I'm impressed.
I think I got down to Green Path, it looks like. Maybe a little bit.
That really that I'm not even being a hater, dude. That's the opening half hour of the game. Green Path is very early.
Preparing for fungal waste. That sounds familiar. Into the fungal waste. No, Mantis Village. Mantis Village is where I was at. That's where I was at.
That is also an extremely odd direction to go, by the way, because it's not that it's late game, because it's not, but it's not.
Maybe
really,
that's why I'm having a
it's
problem.
It's not really intended for roughly where I'm assuming you are.
Maybe that's why I'm having a problem with it.
Yeah, the mantises are kind of tough if you don't know what you're doing.
So it's a good game. I'm not saying it's not or anything like that, but I just coming off of Ender Lilies, which I absolutely loved.
First of all, it's Ender Magnolia.
Magnolia.
And second of all, Hollow Knight is better than Ender Magnolia, but Ender Magnolia is great. I'm not talking down on that. Hollow Knight is better.
I'm not saying. I'm trying to word this.
I can understand if maybe you better not be trying to word it as nice.
No. Like I completely understand that Hollow Knight. It is a fantastic game. It's loved by people. It is just not clicking with me whatsoever. Like I'm playing and I'm like, okay, and I'm really wondering what the hype was around this game. Like, what did it do? Like when it came out, was it something revolutionary or something?
I mean, I can answer that. It wasn't really revolutionary by any means. It's just that it did everything well. First of all,
right.
And if there is one sticking point with Metroidvanias as a series, as a genre as a whole, it is that they typically do not have the greatest platforming mechanics. Whereas platforming is obviously a major part of it. Hollow Knight was designed specifically to be a tight and precise platformer, and it most certainly is. Like if you would compare it to not like a Mario, but something like a tough platformer where precision is necessary, it holds up pretty well against it.
Right.
Then it obviously implemented Souls similar mechanics, which at the time was not in every other fucking game made, so it was a little bit more unique at the time.
Okay.
And then its emphasis on having very good and tough bosses was also relatively unique. Because again, that's another thing about Metroidvanias is most of the time, not all, just most of the time, they tend to be on the easier side.
Generally known that,
they tend to be on the easier side. But Hollow Knight was specifically designed to be almost like an old school platformer with Metroidvania mechanics and Souls-like systems, which was kind of an interesting, at the time, mesh. And then now this is a love it or hate it thing, but I think the art's brilliant. I know some people don't, and I don't know what they're looking at. I think it's a gorgeous game, but I like the it's not really hand drawn style, but very artistic look to it. Which is that's just a me thing.
I don't really have a problem with that or anything, and I don't have a problem with the game. I just don't see. Like, it is a good game. I understand that. I just don't see how, like, when I talk to like yourself and not even yourself. I mean, you like the game and you praise it.
I love the game. I obviously run with the meme, but I'm not joking when I say I think it's the best Metroidvania ever made. I firmly do. I think it as good as like Super Metroid and Symphony Night are. I think it's just a significantly better game in every way.
Yeah, I can see that. I just for me, it is just not clicking, and I don't know. I don't know. I tried picking it up. I mean, I played it straight for like about 5 hours one day, and then I picked it up here and there. I picked it up, put it down, picked it up.
I will say this, and this is not well. So we'll get to what Silken says here in a second. This is not just to drum up the continual, meme of it all. That push on until you at least get to City of Tears. You should, if you're in Fungal Waste.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but I don't think you're too far. City of Tears almost becomes the central hub of the game.
Yeah,
it's still a location
a little bit,
but it becomes like the dead center of the map, and most of what you do from there, you go off of branches. But City of Tears is also just an incredibly beautiful and like awesome like area.
Yeah.
And I just push on to that, and then from there, if it still doesn't click, I guess then you could probably say.
And what Silken says here, not gonna lie, that's my main issue with Hollow Knight. It's a bit too any abilities for its own good. And honestly, I think that's it. Is like there would be times where I'm like, okay, I'm completely lost. I have zero clue where I'm going, like at all. And like I had one ability at that time, and I was like, I'm just this
is an area where it chose to adopt a Souls methodology that might not have been to its better, because obviously it's not a linear game, but it still requires relatively linear progression so that you get, your double jump, your shade dash, or what they call it, your crystal dash or whatever. But it does give you it does function like a Souls-like game where it gives you like the slightest little nugget of information as to where you have to go. And the reality is there's a pretty damn good chance that if you don't have any kind of help, you don't know where that is.
Right.
And the reality is that, like, again, it's why, like, I wasn't joking when I said it does implement a lot of Souls like design choices, including the way that it tells its story. It tells it it's not quite as obnoxiously obtuse as Souls games are, but it's pretty obtuse. And the unfortunate part is actually Hollow Knight has really cool lore. But it is tough to piece together, especially because, again, it's a tough game, so you're not exactly pounding through like that. And there is a surprising amount of like upgradable, not abilities necessarily, but your magic attack and your like charms and stuff like that if you, unless you're very, very good at finding that shit, which I really am not, I kind of have to look at help guys tell you where to go, you'll miss a lot of it. And I most definitely did. Like, there's an entire section that I can't remember if you have to go there or not. I don't think you do, but it kind of gives you like almost a background as to what your character is and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. But so I get that. I definitely understand that's not for everybody. I totally understand that.
And I probably will try and pick it up again at some point. It's just I don't know. Yeah, for me, like I'm enjoying my time with it. I am. It's not like I'm having a bad time. It's not like, oh, I can't stand this game. I like it. I find it difficult so I was trying to like I understand like why it's like on Steam. It's overwhelmingly positive. Everyone loves it.
It is a very beloved game.
Yeah, but it's just I don't get it from that, and I'm wondering if it's because I started it now and not when it came out.
The thing to remember is maybe a lot of us didn't start it when it came out because it came out on PC like something like 5 years before it came out on any console. Because it came out in, I don't know if it was early access, but like
it was early access, right, for a bit.
I don't remember if it was early access, but it was on PC for quite a while. Then it came to Switch, and I want to say it was console exclusive to Switch for almost a year. Then it came to PS4, and it might have come to Xbox at the same time. I can't remember, but it was a while. Now Switch is where I played it. So I want to say by the time it came to Switch, they had already released the God Hand update, which was like their third one. So it had been on PC for quite some time before it ever came to consoles, and then they had, I think, 2 more after that. There was the Nightmare Troop one, and there was something else. Actually, God Hand might have been the last one, so there might have been something between Nightmare and the other ones. But yeah, they had like 3 updates on it by the time it came to Switch.
Gotcha. But yeah, I'll pick it up again. It's not, like I said, not a bad game. Hey Todd, thanks for popping in.
Todd.
But yeah, just I don't know. Like I said, I like it. I don't think it's as high on a pedestal as it should be. But I'm not saying it's bad. But anyways, let's move on to some news before Rick strangles me, before I dig myself into an even bigger hole. Let's see.
You almost said a prohibited word there, sir.
Jesus, Lord. That would have done it. Well, we would have like no listeners. We probably would have been fine. But so one of the top stories this week is that Assassin's Creed live action series is greenlit by Netflix. Let's see. Robert Patino and David Weiner will serve as creators, showrunners, and executive producers. The news comes 8 years after initial reports of a series and 5 years after the confirmation of the Ubisoft? I can't talk today. Ubisoft partnership.
You're struggling over there.
Jesus, I'm gonna have a heart attack right here. What are your thoughts on this?
I hope it doesn't suck.
Yep, I think that was the first thing I thought of.
See, the thing about Assassin's Creed, outside of quality of games, which has certainly varied greatly, although as I've said numerous times, I love Shadows. It's very high on my list of Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the
really
tip top, but it's pretty close to the top. But I am unique in that up until about I can't even keep track anymore, but maybe 6 entries ago, I actually loved the modern day story. But then, like I could never find anybody. It turns out Alex actually liked it too. But for the longest time, I couldn't find anybody else that cared, and I was like, man, through like the Desmond trilogy, I was more interested in what was happening in the modern day than I was in what was happening in the Ezio or Connor days or whatever. Like I love the whole idea of the Assassins and Templars continuing their conflict behind the scenes. I thought that was an awesome
idea. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
But then the further that they started to dive into the Isu storyline, especially when you got to the RPG stuff where they really went hard in on the Isu storyline, they really started to lose me then, because I did not like that stuff at all. Like I didn't mind that it was there, but I liked the idea of it being like just insane mystery in the background that just you had these apples of Eden and that was all you really knew about them. But the more they fleshed them out, the less I liked it.
Yeah.
And now I never finished Valhalla because it obviously never.
I don't think many people did, because Jesus.
But Alex does always tell me that if you were a fan of the modern day story, you have to finish it, because it actually does make. I don't know if it was the main game or if it was some of the DLC or maybe both. I'm not sure, but he always does say how it does an awesome job of actually, like, if you like that modern day story, it actually does a lot to flesh that out. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to spend 12 games worth of time to finish just that game. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's I really liked Valhalla when it came out.
The game itself was good. It was too much.
And then 60 hours later, I was like, okay.
I usually am not of the like, something's too long. The reality was that game was too long.
Ridiculous.
It really might be the single most bloated single player game ever made.
You're probably right, honestly.
It's up there. If it's not number one, it's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than that, to be clear, Valhalla was an awesome game. It really was. It was.
It was. Yeah, it just overstayed its welcome.
But it had a massive issue outside of the bloated side that had been an issue since, in my opinion, well, Origins not so much, but Odyssey very, very. My biggest issue with Odyssey was the same as my biggest issue with Valhalla. It didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually why I like Shadows. I think Shadows does at least.
Shadows feels like it's going back. At least it's keeping a little bit of the the actiony stuff, but you can, it is getting more like back to roots, so to speak, which is nice. God.
Todd, Shadows is. I mean, it depends how much you want to do. There's a ton of like optional what do you call them, like targets. But the actual main story is really not that long at all, as far as I can tell. It's maybe, I don't know, 15 hours. So, but there's a fair bit of optional content. But the game itself is nowhere near as long as Valhalla. It's probably fairly close to Origins length, I would say, somewhere around there.
A quick Google says the main storyline can be done between 32 and 40 hours.
And I mean, now I have not finished it, so I can't. Yeah. But that seems like a very, very long estimate to me. But that is about what I've heard otherwise. It's just, from what I've seen, that seems very long.
87 to 100, which sounds about right. Like Silken has said, I finished Valhalla in 70 hours. You don't need to clear all the markers, guys. Now, see, that's my curse.
I don't do that either. So
if it's an open game, so you might have been almost at the end of Valhalla. An open world game, I have to go everywhere. It is an absolute curse.
Well, since we're on this topic, we'll bring it up, because this is actually a little bit of a discussion that I had with Alex. So Alex did the review for Season Gaming.
Yes.
And after it came out, we talked about it, because the review posted, I want to say 3 or 4 days before the game came out. He told me that for the first 10-ish hours, maybe somewhere around there, he actually was really kind of disappointed in it. And now, to be clear, for those who have not played it, the first 10-ish hours effectively comprises Act 1, which is basically your prologue.
Right.
So all the talk, and rightly so, of the dual protagonist system in the prologue, with one minor exception in the very beginning of the game, you only play as Naue. But the problem is, until you get to a certain point in that, I forget exactly what it is, it doesn't really open up much of the even optional content. Like most of it is gate kept, if you will, until not gate kept, gated until you get to a certain point, which isn't super far, but he, however, has to play as a total completionist and get every little thing done. And I'm like, look, I was like, I understand playing like an RPG that way, and yes, this is an RPG, but that's not the point I'm getting at.
Yeah,
I was like, but the reality is, I have played enough Assassin's Creed games to know if you play it that way, you are not doing yourself any favors, because these games always get better as you progress because you get more skills, abilities, whatever. When you do this from the very beginning, all you are doing is making sure you're playing that much of the game with the most minimal amount of the game available to you. And
I totally know
the way to play these games at all.
I totally know that, but I still do it. I do it in like games like, Oblivion or the Fallout series. I will go off and I will start fighting the hardest guys with a tiny pistol. And I'm like, I know this is terrible, but I'll still keep doing it. It's awful. And I never learn. I did do it a little bit less in Shadows.
I totally understand completionist mentality, because when it comes to like Final Fantasy 16, for example, that is how I am. But like a Ubisoft game, you're just going to make sure you don't like the game if you do that. So I cannot fathom why somebody can't play the game and just go, you know what, this is where I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Todd in chat, the worst part is when there are some amazing quests hidden among a lot of busy work. I would love it if side quests were sorted by importance. That'd be kind of nice if there was like, if there's a lot to do, to be like, hey, this one will give you an award or something, just so it's not like a quick fetch quest or something. But yeah, good old Assassin's Creed. I that's another game I need to finish this year. What else we got here for news? I'm just kind of looking around. Nintendo announces the repeat of October 2024 playtest. I was looking to get into this, but apparently I can't because I don't have Switch Online with the expansion pack.
We know you certainly need another MMO, so that's kind of disappointing.
Well, no, this is for that's
exactly what it is. It's for like an
unnamed
MMO. Yeah.
Nintendo has announced new Switch Online playtest program. Playtest will be the same service that tested in October 2024. The October test resulted in multiple user leaks indicating a Minecraft-style MMO was in development. So yeah, if you want to do this, applications open up on the 18th of July, close July 21st. And then the playtest is set to last from the 28th of July all the way until August 10th. They're only accepting 40,000 applications. Todd says I can join his Switch family. I am honored, and send over your 30-digit friend code or whatever it is, and I'll be there.
I don't actually know if that's necessary. I think he just needs to add your account to his list of like family members or whatever.
Yeah. Todd also said Witcher 3 had some amazing side quests. They were so good. They were like full on great story.
Witcher. Most people that have played it would agree that Witcher probably has pound for pound the best side quest gaming.
I would say yeah.
I don't know if there's even anybody else in competition with that.
No, because there was some side.
The closest would be Cyberpunk, and really, I think Witcher's side quest blows Cyberpunk's out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Man, there's like a bunch of Ubisoft news. Also today, today's. Oh no. Ubisoft CEO addresses Stop Killing Games movement concerns. Ubisoft CEO...
I've not seen this, so I'm going to be listening to this. Because
Ubisoft CEO has addressed shareholder concerns regarding the Stop Killing Games movement. Clearly, this is a far-reaching issue, and we're working on it, he said, while also saying nothing is eternal. Flagged that the company was implementing offline modes for the Crew sequels. Okay. Why is that?
Yeah, well, that's because specifically the Crew 1 is one of the games.
The first one, right? The first one was one that was like the first Ubisoft title where they're like, "See ya."
That was specifically one of the main games being used as an example for the Stop Killing Games movement, because you can't play it at all anymore. It's just dead.
Yeah. During the Q&A portion of Ubisoft's 2025 general meeting, shareholders raised topic of the Stop Killing Games. According to the event's English translator, this is what he said: "We operate in a market, and whenever we release a game, we provide a lot of support for that game," which is sometimes true. They still support in games that should have died from other companies. We also provide a lot of services to make sure that the game is accessible and remains playable 24/7. So we provide information regarding the game and how long the game can be played, and players and buyers are forewarned that eventually the game may be discontinued. Now, what happened with this game? There was a fee proposed to all buyers of the game for £1. What? They got to buy the next version. I don't think this English translator.
Assumedly, it means Motorfest 2. Or not Motorfest, I'm sorry, the Crew 2.
It's not a whole lot of money to be able to continue playing the game, and we also announced that the game would be available offline in the future so that players could continue to play it. I wonder if that's talking about the Crew there.
Yeah, that has to be the 2. It has to be 2, because 2, they have said they're working on an update to make it. It's just the first one is dead. There's no way to play the first one again.
Yeah, it is. The way of the dodo.
The only thing I could say of all this is why I have never agreed with having to pay for a game that has requirements of an online thing. For example, and this goes way back, any MMO where you're also paying a monthly subscription, I cannot understand why you have to pay for the game. That's absolutely insanity. Like why is that not just included in? Make it that you have to buy $50 worth of monthly service, so whether that's 3 months, 4 months, whatever. But there should not be a cost for the game. That's insanity.
Right.
Because at that point, I would say, even though it sucks and it's shit, and I'm not a fan of them just taking something offline, so long as you got the months that you paid for, you did get what you paid for. However, the minute you had to buy that game, if they ever take it offline, you do not have what you paid for.
Right. Yep. And also I don't see it on just the site that I'm on now, but you had mentioned right before we started that Ubisoft announced that a Ghost Recon is in the works.
Yeah, they didn't announce it per se, but they confirmed it in a shareholder meeting that a first-person Ghost Recon game is. I mean, it's probably in early development if it's in a shareholder meeting.
Yeah,
but that's good news, because in first person, it tells you that it probably would return to its tactical shooter roots.
Yeah, which would be fantastic. I would love to go back to like create, do a squad based type of thing. God, I miss those. Like you said, on PC they were different, but on like
the Advanced Warfare on PC was actually a different game than it was on 360 and PS3. Yep. They were first person, and they actually were. It followed the same story, but it actually was like old school Ghost Recon on PC, whereas it was more of an action game on 360. I loved both versions, actually. I just if you like tactical RPG, not RPGs, tactical shooters, it's worth having both versions because they're quite different.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I never played the PC. I didn't have a PC at that point. I was straight console at that point. The other big news was, of course, this week, the layoffs over at Is it Virtuous? Virtuous, yeah. Right? Yeah. 7%, basically 200 staff in Asia and 70 in Europe.
Gotcha.
And now a strike is now taking place to protest the layoffs, apparently.
The thing about this that I mentioned to you that a lot of people don't realize is that's not. I mean, well, you mentioned the percentage, but that's not a lot of Virtuous. Virtuous is a much larger thing than people realize it is. It's how they were able to develop two massive games at the same time, being Oblivion Remake and Delta, which comes out here in a month, while still doing the updates for Cyberpunk, still doing, did they just? No, they didn't do Sea of Thieves. That was all been Rare. Something else huge that they were working on, because they're commonly referred to by people as just a port studio, but that's not accurate at all. Like they're a contracted out studio. I mean, hence the Cyberpunk updates, right?
Right.
But they are enormous, and I want to say their French team, I think, is their main one. Like that's the one that definitely worked on Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I was just there was a little snippet here. It said that it says that fewer than 10 workers in France were let go, where it is the core team responsible for Oblivion Remastered, Cyberpunk updates, and so on. So it seems like, yeah, like core people weren't affected.
Yeah, I believe the European studios, which is predominantly France, but they might have some other ones. They might. I think I heard they have some in England as well.
Yeah,
that's like their main team. I don't know necessarily with the Asia and what was the other one you said? Asia and
Europe, 70 in Europe. Most likely, probably working from home or something. Maybe I'm not sure where their studio's off, but
no, that's not to excuse layoffs. But I'm just saying, like this is. That number sounds worse than it actually is when you consider the size of Virtuous. It actually is a pretty small.
And I didn't know the size of it, and at the start of it, I was like, it sucks, but I was like, also Oblivion just is out, and Delta's coming out soon. I'm assuming
I believe I heard
it cuts.
I think I heard something like 4,000 people comprises them, which is pretty damn big when you're not like a publisher.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's enormous. But I mean, really until recently, even myself included, a lot of people hadn't heard of them but they've worked on so many things. It's just they're always like an assistant studio. They until recently they were not the primary developer, which then I want to say the first one, because obviously Oblivion was not officially announced until it came out. I think Delta actually was the first announced game that they actually were developing, and which everyone thought was weird because Virtuous Mission in Metal Gear, so they thought it was named for that. But I think they had that name before. It just happened to work out that way.
Yeah. So I mean, it sucks, but like you said, it's a large studio, and is what it is. And coming off the Microsoft layoffs, it's not.
From what I understand, what word is that they put a ton of financial backing into the development of the Oblivion, and obviously because of the Game Pass thing, it sold okay on PC, it sold okay on PlayStation. I'm sure it didn't sell for shit on Xbox. So I imagine that played a role, but obviously they're not going to go that deep into financials. But
no,
I'd really be amazed if that didn't in some way, have to do with it.
I'm sure it. Yeah, I'm sure it. Going back to like TV movies, Nintendo has announced the leads for the live-action Zelda films. We have English actors Bo Bragason and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth have been cast as Zelda and Link. The movie will be directed by Wes Ball, who did The Maze Runner, and slated for release on May 7th, 2027. So we got a bit.
Yeah, it was delayed by a year just fairly recently, I think.
Yeah. Nintendo also recently filed a copyright notice for an untitled Donkey Kong motion picture. Looking at these people, I have no idea.
I missed my cue.
Apparently Ainsworth was in the Netflix series The Haunting of Bly Manor and voiced Pinocchio in Disney's 2022 live-action remake.
The girl it's come out was actually the face model for young version of Lunafreya from Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
Young Lunafreya, not the main one who looks like Taylor Swift.
Right.
But like the couple scenes when you see her and Noctis as a kid, she was apparently the model designed for that version of Lunafreya.
And also it's thrown in here, I didn't know it was coming out, but Super Mario Brothers Movie 2 will be released on April 3rd, 2026. Alrighty then. Anything else in the news that you can think of before, or something you want to talk about before we go into our Donkey Kong love?
My cursor was on the right place. No, I don't know of any news that I can think of that was pertinent.
So before we get into what our thoughts are on Donkey Kong Bonanza, there it is.
I was waiting for it
that time. Where, like, when what was the first Donkey Kong game that you remember playing? And is there a Donkey Kong game
Whoa!
that you
Why was that so loud?
that you really enjoy? Over the rest of the.
Well, I mean, the first one I played was the first one, the original Donkey Kong.
Nice.
Why is it so loud?
No.
Yeah, my grandfather actually had a ColecoVision, and yes, that was
nice.
on there. That was on there. That, because if you remember, that's back when games didn't really have an end. So was it like 4 levels that just played in like numerous different orders or whatever? Yeah, so I played it there, and then but the ones that I really loved were absolutely Donkey Kong Country. I mean, those were the first two. The third one, I don't know if anybody gives a rat's ass about, because it was just the girl and the fucking troglodyte kid.
I don't think I played. I think I briefly played the third, and I was like, meh. My first foray into Donkey Kong was Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo, and I remember walking through. I think it was either an Ames or a Kmart around here, and they had a Super Nintendo set up, and they had that as a demo, and it's one of those games for me that absolutely blew me away graphics wise. I thought it was just phenomenal looking.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo had that, whatever it was, chip that they could.
Was it FX chip or something?
It had a weird name.
Something.
But yeah, it could do some kind of special graphics rendering, which is why things like that
it looked so good. And I played it and of course fell in love with it. So I think that's probably my favorite one. Donkey Kong 2 was great. Freight's Super FX chip. That's what. Yeah, I thought it was something FX. Thanks, Todd.
That's the name I was thinking of.
Freight said Donkey Kong Country was at the local McDonald's play place as a kid. Silken, I only ever played bits of Donkey Kong Country 2 at a friend's because I didn't have a SNES.
I also did not have a Super Nintendo because I was a cultured Sega kid.
You were a
that
Sega
said,
kid, right?
In retrospective, now actually, I do remember something that my dad always talked to me about. So here's a little bit of lore into my Sonic fanboyism.
Kids, get your notepads out.
Right. So basically, my introduction to gaming was pretty much 2 things, and they're very different things: Sonic the Hedgehog and Doom. Right. So when I was a kid, well, I guess technically Wolfenstein, but my dad got me Doom when it came out. My cousin had a Sega Genesis, and when I went over to be babysat or whatever, I went up and played it, and I was like, "Oh, this game's amazing!" Even as a kid, I had good taste, clearly, right? and so my dad, I guess, was deciding which console to get me, and even though I kept talking about Sonic and how much I wanted it, I didn't know what a Sega Genesis was. I didn't say that part. I just said this game, Sonic the Hedgehog, is so good. Didn't know what a hedgehog was at that time, but it's all I could talk about. And he was looking, and I want to say he was asking people what they thought, and most of them had suggested a Super Nintendo. You got to remember, early 90s, man, the console wars were strong.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
I mean, your friends were dictated based on what console you had, right?
It's very true.
And almost nobody had both, right? You were one or the other at that time. So obviously, because the Nintendo fandom was in full steam ahead at that point, he had a lot of people suggesting to get me a Super Nintendo. But I think he saw how insanely expensive everything on the Super Nintendo was, and he was like, well, I'd get him this and he'd never get any games, so he ended up giving me the Genesis anyway. And so pretty much a lifelong Sonic fanboy was born from that. And
nice.
I could not give up the Nintendo hate until basically the GameCube generation. I was the most anti-Nintendo person ever. And the reality was, I still, even having a GameCube, I was still pretty anti-Nintendo. I just liked Metroid. Yep. It's only recently that I kind of gave it up a little bit, but even when I try to give it up, Nintendo gives you a million reasons to hate them. So,
yeah. Yeah.
But
As much as I'm enjoying the Switch too. Yep.
Yeah. No, that's basically what it comes down to. Is I'm like, you know what? The Switch was awesome. I love the Switch. I still hate Nintendo, no matter what anybody says. They are one of my least favorite companies I've ever dealt with.
Yeah. Yeah. To kind of go away from DK real quick. Yeah, I always wanted a Sega console.
No,
but
there it is.
I always wanted a Sega console, but being in a, I guess poor upbringing, I was lucky I had the Super Nintendo, so that's what we had, and I always wanted a Sega, and I always wanted a Saturn. Never got the Saturn, and my first one was
I
the
wanted a
Dreamcast.
Saturn too, but he got me a PlayStation instead, which at the time I was
Yep.
disappointed. Now, obviously, in retrospect,
right?
like,
yeah,
he obviously made the right call.
Yep.
But that said, also looking back, there was never an actual native Sonic game a native exclusive Sonic game on the Saturn. So the reality was, I actually would
no
have
shit, really.
The only one there ever was they had Sonic R, which I would not have wanted to play that anyway at the time.
Yeah,
and then they had, I don't know what it was called. I want to say it's actually pretty rare nowadays, but it was some collection of them. I don't know if they ever brought it west because I don't think I've ever once seen it. But yeah, they never had the next exclusive Sonic game after the Genesis was Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast.
God, I loved Sonic Adventure. God,
Sonic
I love that one.
Awesome,
so good. Anyways, back to Donkey Kong. Yeah. Another one that I haven't played, but I've heard great things, and I'm honestly surprised I didn't play it. Is it just Donkey Kong Kart? Is it Diddy Kong's Racing?
Oh yeah, Diddy Kong's Racing. Yeah.
I never played that, and I've heard people say it's fantastic, and I'm surprised I never did because I love kart racing games. I like Donkey Kong,
and I hate kart racing games, so I never bothered with it. But actually, I thought it was one people didn't like very much.
Oh, I thought people really liked it, but I could be completely wrong. Maybe
it may also be one of those things that nobody
something.
liked it at the time, and then all of a sudden, 20 years later,
right.
everyone's like, "No, that was my favorite game ever."
Yep. And I really, honestly, didn't play Donkey Kong much after the Super Nintendo. I never played the 64 one because I heard it was trash.
Yeah, that one nobody liked. Well, I guess how much you liked it came down to whether you were willing to collect 10 billion things or not. That was mostly the complaint with it. It was pretty much the most like collectible vomit game of all time.
Gotcha. And then I think was it Tropical Freeze out on the Wii?
Tropical Freeze and Returns were both on the Wii, and then they ported them both to the Switch.
I liked those ones. Those were good, but I didn't play them much. I didn't play them much, but I played them on the Switch.
Yeah, so did I. Returns is kind of a remake of the original Donkey Kong Country. Like even the first level is the same level. Now I do not know to what extent that is. Maybe it has more. I don't know. But I'm glad they ported them both. And actually, I also don't know if you know this or not. When Returns came out, I think it was this year in January. They actually on the Switch rather. They actually added the 3DS exclusive levels to it too. So like that is like the only true complete version of
place to play everything on one spot.
Because I think there were also Wii levels that were not in the 3DS version, but this has them all together. So
gotcha. Yeah, and I think that's all of them that I know of, anyways. So yeah, I started out on the Super Nintendo, and here we are.
You're forgetting. What the hell was the name of that one on GameCube where you played it?
The bongo ones.
Yeah,
bongos. Yeah. As soon as you started saying that, I was like,
was that the name of it? Jungle Beat, something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
there wasn't a GameCube. There wasn't a GameCube game, was there?
Well,
besides that one.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
Ugh. God.
Nintendo did the GameCube pretty dirty. They didn't release a whole lot of really good
stuff. The freaking bongos. And the GameCube had what? They had the bongos. They had the chainsaw for Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, but that was not even official. That was made by some third party. And if you picked it up, you realized right away it wasn't official because it was pretty much unusable.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
God. So yeah, to the meat and potatoes, Donkey Kong Bananza. It's gonna have to be like my text or something.
I still laugh every freaking time I hear that stupid.
Oh yeah, I've heard it 500 damn times, but I've.
It actually makes, like, I'm not joking. It makes you like want to find more bananas because it makes you laugh every time.
I will say one thing right out of the gate. That game makes me feel it's almost like while I was playing it and collecting all the gold when I'm punching through and all the gold's flying at me. I'm like, I feel like this is kind of like one of those mobile games where it's like, here, we're going to feed you this so you get excited and you're just going to keep going more and more. That's kind of what it felt like. So I think I'm right where Silken is at. I'm in the third area. I 100% the second level.
I am on the boss after the first area. I got to it and then I stopped. Yep. So I have the first Bananza ability or whatever it's called.
Silkenet, the BPM banana per minute is addicting. I like that. Initial thoughts right out of the gate. I think it's great. I'm having an absolute blast with it.
Something else is I've also come around on his design because I did not like his redesign at all at first.
Okay.
I love how Paulina looks. I think she looks cute as hell.
Yep.
And like I like the design of the evil monkeys and all that stuff. I did not like the way he looked, but I've come around on it a little bit more. Yeah, we never did get back to that, did we? But as I mentioned to you yesterday, so even when I like a Nintendo game, and as much as I rag on them, I mean, there are a fair bit of Nintendo games that I do like. I have never liked or even really been able to more than just barely tolerate their little cutesyisms and all that shit. Like, I find it just mind-numbingly annoying. At best case scenario, it annoys the shit out of me. At worst case, it makes me stop playing it, right? But in this one, it actually works, and it's funny. Like it works really well. It does not bother me in this because the fact that you're this stupid ass gorilla that looks like he was dropped on his head 12 times as an infant, like it works. It's funny. It actually fits with it.
Yeah, it really does go well with the game, and I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and like when Pauline's sitting on his back and like doing her stupid little while you're the stupid ass, like it's funny. It all actually works really well. I'm like, whatever Nintendo does in all their other games, they need to stop doing it and start doing it this way because this way works. Those ways don't.
Like I said, I'm like the third level in, so I'm still not like super far in. But while I was playing it, I was thinking about it, and I think for a Nintendo game, I think this is the first Nintendo first-party game I have really enjoyed and connected with in years. It's been a really long time for me.
I mean, that is normally something that would be the case for me, but I actually, even though I didn't play it all the way through, I actually really liked Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. So, and I didn't really give that enough time, but other than that, there hasn't been like Mario Odyssey didn't do anything for me.
Mario Odyssey wasn't good, but I'm sorry, saying it wasn't good. I'm gonna have my house firebombed. It was not nearly as good as it was given credit for, and I actually thought that it was an enormous step backwards from Galaxy, which I thought was Galaxy was incredible. Well,
God, it's so good.
Well, I guess if you haven't bought it, you can't buy it now. But the first Galaxy is technically on Switch, but the second one is not, which makes no sense.
Yep. But yeah, wholeheartedly enjoying it. As soon as I started it, I thought the graphics were fantastic. I messaged you and I was like, it's running great for me. I don't know.
Have you noticed? I'm not making it up.
I have noticed now because I literally thought like the whole smashing of things. I thought that slowdown was almost on purpose.
You thought it was, what do they call it? Like a stop frame. It's not.
I almost thought it was on purpose. And then after you said something and then I read a few things, I was like, oh, okay. And I did notice when going into map, it
shuts there.
Yeah. But I'm surprised they didn't use the DLSS NVIDIA option with that.
All I can guess is I saw recently it actually was originally supposed to be a Switch game, but they ended up porting it to Switch 2. I wonder if that's why. I wonder if they were just too far in development to implement DLSS, but they probably should go back in now and be like, okay, we're going to build this into it so that it can.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, if they get decent DLSS implementation and are able to bump the native resolution down to like 720 and make it upscale properly, it'd probably run fine then. Actually, that would probably make all the difference in the world and fix the whole issue.
Yep.
But they do need to get that implemented.
Yeah, and even with that slowdown, even though I'm noticing it now, I'm fine. I'm just having so much fun with
it. It doesn't affect you playing it. It's just
no.
When you see it, you can't not see it. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and now I've kind of got it triggered as like, oh, it's like you said, it's like the stop frame and stuff. I will say, and I made a post about it. I think I told you already. It's like as soon as I started playing this game with the whole like going through the levolution and stuff, it's like this immediately made me think of Red Faction on the PS2, of destroying the world and stuff.
Since the minute it was announced, Alex was proud of himself because he started calling it Red Faction Guerrilla. And I will say, I've seen it elsewhere. I heard it from him first, so I'm not saying he's the first one to say it, but he is the first one that I saw say it, so he gets full credit for that.
Pretty good. And I thought it was pretty good, the way the level, destroying the rock and stuff in the first layer worked really well. And then I got to the second layer, and you can like destroy so much and make like whole like caverns in the map and everything. It's crazy how much more the whole evolution plays into it.
The one thing about it is, and here comes Rick to rain on the parade like usual, but now it does an impressive job with obviously being what do you call it? Where it remembers what you've destroyed. What the hell's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't matter. But if you noticed, it's not physics based. It like if you knock out the bottom of like say you have like a pole,
right?
You knock off the bottom.
There.
The pole doesn't fall. The pole just floats there.
Yep.
And it's not the end of the world because it's not what it is.
No,
right?
it's
like Red Faction is built, like specifically Guerrilla is built around the physics. Whereas this is not, so it's not the end of the world, but it is like
It is, yeah. There's one spot where there's a tall column in the second level, and there's a plant, and it's like, I need sun, so you need to destroy the column. And I was like, I'll just knock out the bottom, and it's just still standing there. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something small, but yeah, it's there. It would have definitely been interesting if that was the case, but then I don't know if the whole world would just fall in on themselves.
And that's true. That's certainly a major part of it, I'm sure. But also, I mean, think about the tax on the CPU if it had to calculate all those physics.
Yeah. But the unlocks are cool. Finding all the fossils and stuff, and
I have yet to find anywhere I can buy anything. Like I know it's there, but I haven't seen
on the second level.
Okay,
and on the second level there's a shop, and then in the third one you can buy, like you can actually use the gold to buy maps and stuff for the unlocks, and to find like fossils, bananas, other stuff. And we should have had it for banana. So yeah, banana. But yeah, overall, really, really enjoying it. I knew I was going to like it after the direct. I'm really, really enjoying it, and it runs great on handheld too.
One thing I will say that I picked up on right away is I believe the theme of this game is that it is a cautionary tale of the dangers of severe addiction. Because DK, I missed, damn it. There we go. Clearly has a fixation on the bananas.
When he gets those bananas, his eyes are like crazy.
He gets the crazy eyes. He basically loses his job over pursuit of these bananas, right? Like it's pretty clear what's going on here. Like, dude's a junkie. And,
bananas are his cocaine. So you haven't have you unlocked the perk list or anything like that, or skills?
You get that pretty early. In the first level.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say I'm not overly impressed with them, but there's a lot more that I can't see right now.
I mean, it's there, and I've unlocked more of it, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it's there. You move 30% faster on rock or whatever, and it's okay. It's something there to help unlock things. That's cool. And then of course you can get into it. I don't think you've unlocked the big form yet. Where
the first Bananza form,
Yeah, Bananza. Can I just can we
remember when I said she's dancing? Like that's
true. That's true. like when he's in Bananza mode or whatever, like has Donkey Kong like done some insane squats or something? Because Jesus, it is it.
Bro's juicing, man.
God damn,
He's juicing them bananas.
he is thick.
He is thick. What's funny is you can use Pauline as a metric to compare. When he's normal DK, like yeah, obviously he's bigger than her. He's a gorilla,
Right?
But it's not like absurd. When he's Bananza DK, like bro is like 4 times his size, man. He turns into Arnold Gorillanator. And like she's like a speck on his shoulder at that point, whereas she is covers like half his back in normal times.
Yep.
Yeah, but bro's juicing, there's no doubt.
Definitely. I do like the layouts of the levels and stuff. There's tons of like little rooms to go into or unlock things to get extra bananas and stuff. There's just a lot to do. At first I felt kind of overwhelmed, but then once I got used to the mechanics more and stuff, I was like, all right, this is cool. And this is actually a good drip feed amount type of thing. So of cocaine bananas.
Banana flavored
bananas per minute.
Yeah. It is a little lacking on the challenge side, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because I was like, oh, you only get 3 health bars or health thingamajiggers. I was like, that's not bad, but the reality is nothing ever hits you. So, but it's not the end of the world.
I thought like once I got further in and maybe further in, there's more enemies, but on like the 3rd level, there's like a few here and there. There's not much.
IGN's review said some of the later bosses can be tricky if you, but although if you use the Bonanza mode, it basically trivializes all of it. But if you choose not to, they actually can get a little bit tougher later.
Gotcha. But yeah, overall, I'm super pleased with the game. Like I said, I knew I was going to like it. I like it more than I thought I would. I've been playing it, like I said, on handheld and here. It runs great in handheld mode. Basically, the same as on the TV. There's no, the same amount of frames are working against you or whatnot, but it looks great on there. On that screen.
I don't know if I agree with all the 10s it's getting. I think this is definitely a little bit of a Nintendo bump.
Yeah,
but that's not to say it's not a good game because it really is.
Oh yeah.
Like this as I said, I mean, I obviously throw a little bit of venom into it as much as I can, but I truly do think Mario Kart kind of sucks. This is what should have been their launch game because this is infinitely
really
better game than Mario Kart.
I am a fan of Mario Kart. The one that we got with this Mario Kart World, I just
that's what I'm specifically saying. I think this Mario Kart is not very good at all.
Yeah, but I played the shit out of it when I got it, and now I feel like past Mario Kart games, I went back to have fun with it and stuff. This one, I really have no interest in going back to. It just really, sadly, doesn't do anything. Maybe if there's some updates or something, but I really just. It was very lackluster. Like you said, if this had come out as a launch game, it would have been fantastic. It would have been a really good showcase for the even with the frame stutter here and there for the Switch.
That reminds me. Don't mind me. I want to check something.
All right, you can check something. That's fine.
It's a simple thing. The Cyberpunk update for Switch was later.
It was delayed, right?
Well, it wasn't delayed.
Not delayed. They just said later.
Yeah, they said later. And I don't know if later means... Oh, no, okay. No, it is there now. Actually, it is version 2.3. Okay, cool.
Oh, it already came out? Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
That's it. They did not make it clear in the stream if it was just coming later in the day or if it was coming at a later time.
Yeah, when they said later, I figured like a couple weeks, maybe a month.
Well, and even when they said it in the stream, they were like real vague about it. They said like maybe a couple hours, couple days, couple weeks. I'm like, there's a big difference between a couple of hours and a couple of weeks. Like,
right.
Like you should
especially when because you're supposed to be able to carry your save over.
And that's specifically why it matters. Right? It's like, yeah, well, can I cross save with Switch or do I have to wait a while to play the Switch version?
Right. Which
I think I said before, but I am actually pretty impressed with the Switch version of that game.
I've heard people are, for it being a Switch, that they're quite happy with it.
Like it's clear they put a lot of effort into actually making it run pretty well. Now I know I did hear that when you get to the what's it called, Dogtown or whatever the Phantom Liberty is, that the Switch version does struggle a bit there. But when you're in Night City, I mean, it runs at a well, I shouldn't say Night City. When you're in the main part of Night City, it runs at a pretty steady 30, and then when you play it or in handheld mode, it uses VRR and it runs at a locked 40.
That's crazy.
You really can't tell the difference. Like they really crazy. Did. Like they do deserve to be commended because they did a really nice job with that.
I kind of feel like I want to get that.
It's
play while I'm in my truck.
It marks the 4th copy of Cyberpunk that I have, but it's a good one. I have two copies on Xbox, a copy on PC, and a copy on Switch. And I told you if they ever release a friggin' PS5 Pro patch, I'll probably buy that version too.
Yeah,
so I would have it on every major platform except for Mac because fuck Mac.
Yeah. I got it. I think I've got it on the PlayStation. I've got it on the PC. I got it on Xbox way back in the day after like the whole after it first launched and they were like basically $10, take this game. Well, and I was like, I'll just buy it.
The inverse is why I have 2 versions on Xbox because I bought the physical version, but then I ended up buying a digital version when it was on sale for like $10.
Yeah. I was like, I might as well grab it because why not?
And then obviously when I got my gaming PC, it was the very first game I installed on it.
Nice. Little offshoot from Donkey Kong there, but very much enjoying
welcome to Cyber Talk 2077.
Right. I'm not sure how long. Let me just see.
What, Donkey Kong?
Yeah, how much like the average length is. It was saying about 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, that's about standard for a Nintendo platform.
Yep. Which is, that seems good for me. I'll be very happy with that. But I've been playing a lot with it in handheld mode while in my work truck. Been running great. Love it. I will say it took me a hot minute to get used to.
You mentioned that, and so here's the funny part of that.
B for jump. Yeah.
No, it's A for jump.
A.
Don't forget the X and Y and the A and B.
I know. I can't. Don't even get me
started. Think about that.
Don't even get me started.
Think about that is. You blame Xbox for that because technically Nintendo was first on that.
I understand that, but I can't stand.
That's where Sony was smart, is they used symbols that were not letters, whereas Xbox used letters, and they used the same freaking letters.
And it's not even.
Why didn't they just use C, D, E, and F? It would have made it way easier than nobody would have been
great. It would have been great. And it's not even the Switch. It goes back all the way to the GameCube of like Nintendo use hit ZL or Z. No. It's right trigger, right bumper. God damn it!
It all comes to Nintendo, and there's a lot of criticism. And to be fair, I actually kind of respect this. Their refusal to shed their Japanese-ness. Sony did, right?
That's true.
So again, here we go. A little tangent for you, for those who don't know. So people call on PlayStation. What does everybody call the symbols? X and circle, right?
Right.
It's circle and cross. It is not an X. It is a cross.
It is cross. Yes.
And it was done that way until so anybody that played the original Metal Gear, what was the weirdest thing about it as an American? You selected was circle, which nothing ever did that, right?
Yep.
The reason is because that's how that was designed. They designed it as you circle it because you want it, or you cross it because you don't
want
because
it.
In Japan, that's how they did it, with A and B on an old Nintendo controller. But since we're backwards about fucking everything compared to everybody else in the world, they ended up just reversing it and making it that everybody uses cross to select. Nintendo, however, stick with using A, which in their case is the right button, and B as cancel, which in their case is the lower button. But that said, what I wanted to say was, you mentioned that you do know there is an option to swap them.
I noticed that.
That said too, I did it, and I was like, yeah, this works. After a while, I was like, you know what? I switched it back, and I really had, after about 5 minutes, I had no problem getting used to it again.
I was complaining about it because I kept, pushing. I'm like, God damn it. And then I was like, I was just perusing through the settings, and I was like, oh, you can change it. Now, this is, mind you, after 4 hours.
I never said it because I assumed you had seen it by the time
I was playing it 3-4 hours. So I switched it to that because I was like, oh, finally. But I had gotten used to it. So then I was screwing myself over again. So now I'm back to just original.
Here is a tip for everybody, and nobody wants to hear this, but it's the truth. Because I do this every time. You never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, start a game until you have looked through the options menu first.
I usually do, and
I'm absolutely. I am not joking. I look through the options. If it's something that has 500 options, yeah, I might skim it pretty quick. Right. But like something like this where it's got like 5 options, I look at every option first to see if there's something I want to set.
Yep.
Every single time.
If I had gone in originally, I definitely would have done that and would have been fine. However, I do understand why it's like that because it's
up,
down,
straight,
up, and then just straight. So I totally understand it, and it's definitely a me thing. But I was just like one of those. That's pretty much my only complaint with it, and it's not even a complaint. It's because
it's more of a you issue than anything else. Yeah,
exactly. It's a skill issue.
It was weird for me for about 5 minutes, but afterwards I'm like, yeah, this isn't a big deal.
And it's also
I just kind of naturally rest my thumb on the A button anyway. Then so since it's one you use most often,
it's also just weird for me because honestly, I've probably played my Switch 2 more than I've played my Switch 1. Like, maybe that's a little overstatement, but I barely touched the Switch 1.
The only thing I will say is it is a little concerning that they're already running into some performance issues like a month after release. But the Switch 2 is a pretty capable piece of hardware for what it is.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it was supposedly originally going to be on the Switch, and now it's on Switch 2, so maybe that's why they're not doing the DLSS. Mario Kart doesn't use DLSS either. So it's like, does Nintendo... I don't think it does. I thought I read something that it didn't, but maybe. But I'm pretty sure I read something that it didn't. So it's like, is it Nintendo... new to DLSS because they haven't put anything on PC. So they're just like, oh, let's just take our time with this, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure they said, I know Metroid is using DLSS, so
I assume so because it's a pretty good game. Yep. I also want to point out. So now that we got this is going to ruffle some feathers, and I'm fine with that. So now that we got Donkey Kong, not your feathers, somebody else's feathers.
Yeah.
When Metroid comes out, assuming it's going to be as good as I assume it's going to be, is this Nintendo's best launch year ever? I say yes, because DK is better than Odyssey, and I'll bet you anything I think Metroid's way better than Breath of the Wild. So I'm going to die on that hill. And you can even have your shitty little Mario Kart and add that into if you want. I don't need to add that because as far as I'm concerned, that's an anchor to my my
for me personally, I'm right there with you because I will, I'll die on this hill. Breath of the Wild was trash.
Breath of the Wild is the most overrated game ever made. I will say it is a heck of a launch title. I will give it that. But it 100% did not deserve the accolades it got. It 100% did not deserve a single Game of the Year award from anybody other than a Nintendo-only platform.
So for me, I would say that this is definitely the strongest. Like I said, Donkey Kong is one of the what in the longest time that I can remember of a first party Nintendo game that I really enjoy. So granted, I probably missed a few on the Switch because I just really didn't play the Switch much. So maybe there's something on there that I would have enjoyed. I don't think so, or else I would have played it.
I actually got to look. I said because that Kirby game's supposed to be pretty good. I have it.
Kirby's coming out as well, isn't it? But isn't that like
no? It already is out, but there is the Switch.
There's a Switch
coming. Which may or may not be out yet. I'm not sure if it is yet. I'll look.
Because I thought I was looking at games coming up just the other day, and I thought Kirby was far out, but there could be something else.
No, if it hasn't come out yet, it's very, very soon. There we go. Forgotten Land Switch 2 Edition plus Starcrossed World.
Yeah, that's
release date. It comes out. This is actually hard to find. Here we go. August 28th. So actually, it's about a month away.
Oh, that's not far. That's not bad.
Because I mean, it runs the regular version of the game. I don't know if. I don't know if you play the game now, if it has like the Switch graphical upgrades, but it definitely doesn't have the new content. The new content is not yet released. So I basically decided I would just wait until that came out and just play it that way.
But I probably will play that because honestly, I honestly can't remember the Kirby game I've played. I really can't.
It's been a long time. The funny part is I went and just out of like collector-itis, I bought like every Kirby game on the Switch, and I've not played any one of them.
I've heard they're great. I just haven't played them.
5 or 6 of them. I bought them all. I haven't played any of them.
Yep. I have heard they're great. I just haven't played them. And that's another thing. Like I say, Donkey Kong is one of my favorite Nintendo games that I've played in recent memory. I also haven't played many first party Nintendo games just because the Switch just kind of I don't know, just didn't hit for me. Whereas the Switch 2, I'm loving it, and it's just an upgraded model. So it's like, I don't know why it's hitting me so well, but we'll see how long that lasts. But so far,
I'm counting the number of Kirby games here. Hold on.
as while you're doing that, as far as I am, I would say
I'm only seeing 3, but that's definitely not right. There's definitely more than that. I swear I'm buying like 5.
A very, very strong 8.5 or 9.
Yeah, that's probably about where I am on it. That's about where I am.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that 8.5 will easily go to a 9 if it continues on as this goes, because it seems really, really fun so far.
I guess it's only 3. Boy, it felt like it was way more than that when I bought them.
Yeah, like I never played, what was it, like Yoshi's... Wasn't there like a Yoshi's Craft or something, or Yarn or something?
Was that on the Switch, or was that... There was one on the Wii called Yoshi's... Yeah, I'm sorry. Woolly World, I believe, was one that was on the Switch.
That's the one. I never played that.
But there was Kirby's Epic Yarn was one on the Wii, and then there was Yoshi's Crafted World or something like that.
Something like that. But I never played them, so I don't know. Maybe I would have liked him, but I don't know.
Kirby's Epic Yarn, actually, so I did play that one. That one was cool. It was interesting. It was really easy because it was pretty clearly designed, or like geared towards children. But it was really neat how they did it. Like I liked how everything looked like a craft table. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Everything was made out of like cut pieces of fabric and stuff like that. I thought that was actually a really neat design.
That's cool. Well, on that note, any last thoughts on Donkey Kong, or
just banana?
Yeah, I'm gonna be saying that all night. I hope I wake up the neighbors. I don't care. Turn it up on a blast.
Walk out in the middle of the night, just buck naked but with a tie, and just go, oh, banana.
Jesus Christ, I'll get on the list for that one. But it'll be worth it for the memes.
Not already on the list.
Yeah, Christ, for the memes. Do you have your fortune cookie before we say goodbye to everybody?
Of course I do, because unlike you.
Hey, I haven't forgotten mine for a while.
2 episodes. If you want to count that as a while.
Maybe. Well, it feels like.
Speaking of which, you still owe us some recompense.
Some vinegar.
Not even that. I mean, for a second I thought I had another one without a fortune, but no, it is there. It's on the other side. That's still wild that I opened that one. There was no fortune in it.
That's funny.
Like I said, I chose to use that as the fortune.
You go first this week. Maybe.
I don't know what to make of this. If you go fishing, your catch will be plentiful. That is very specific.
And I like fishing. It is not always plentiful. Although maybe if I haven't read it, you go fishing in
probably 30 years. So I'm not holding my breath on that one.
I haven't been fishing yet this year, but I do usually go a lot. So if you promise someone something, keep it. Doesn't that seem like
virginity?
If you promise someone something, keep it in bed.
It doesn't work. That doesn't work.
It doesn't work, but what are you fishing for?
I mean, that works. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm just saying, if you promise someone your virginity is telling you not to give it to them, keep it.
I guess so. But if you promise someone something, I guess keep the promise. I was kind of reading. Yeah. I was like, well, if I promise you this Steam Deck, I'm going to keep it. Actually, never mind.
I genuinely was thinking the same thing. I'm like, so it's telling you to just be an asshole then.
God. All right. Well, anything else to close us out, or are you all set?
Just gonna go collect some more bananas.
I think I am too. Actually, I think
That's
so.
You might get. I'm gonna
it's
play
addictive.
But...
I need my BPM for the night. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for everyone that joined with us, and it was talking with us. Hope you had a good time, and we will see you probably next week. I think sounds like a good time, and yeah, we'll see you then. I think next week's a good time.
Yeah, I don't think we'll do another one this weekend. I think we'll wait till next week sometime.
Next week, as usual. Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you soon.